everybody? Welcome back to another great show. Hey, it's your boy Rico No Suave, Heart of Hollywood Magazine. Mwah, mwah. Welcome back. I am so happy to be back with everyone here on another great Monday here. Yes, you already know, Hollywood style. Yes, of course, I had to change up just a little bit, everybody, so you guys can see, it's all about great fame, baby. It's all about great fame. And I'm so happy and I'm so humble to be back with each and every one of you guys. If it is your first time here, hey, everyone, the Heart of Hollywood Magazine offers nothing but great exposure for you guys of musicians, actors, actresses. We have activists that's actually out there doing some great things in the community as well, too. We got some influencers that's out there doing some great things and many, many more in the entertainment industry. Can't forget about your producers and also the directors as well. So I want to welcome you all to another great episode here on the Heart of Hollywood Magazine. Just so you know, share this video. If you're on Facebook Live, make sure you share this video. If you're not here, we are at facebook.com/Heart of Hollywood Magazine. And also, if you're on live with us on here on Facebook, go to YouTube, Heart of Hollywood Media. Make sure you subscribe to that channel. And also don't forget to follow us on Heart of Hollywood Magazine, Instagram. Yes, on Instagram. So make sure you go there and follow us there. All right, everybody, you already know, I only got 30 minutes of fame. I'm down 28 minutes now. So of course, I want to introduce this gentleman, a good friend of mine. I grew to love him. You never could hate him. My man is a great actor from Chicago Fire. He's also played in as an actor on Powerbook, Force. You got to know, if you haven't seen that yet, woo-wee, you are in for a treat, but you might have to go back and watch it. I think it's on HBO, but wherever it is, look it up, because my man, Puerto Rican style, is here on the show with me. Put your hands together for none other than my man, Enrique Kings. Let me bring him in, everybody. Let me bring him in. Where he's at. Is he there? Boom! What's up, Papa?
What's up, Rico?
How you doing, man?
I'm great, brother. I'm great, man. Blessed. How are you?
Man, I am happy, man. I am happy
Good.
that you're here with me, man. I love your background. I love the style, man. It's just, you can just tell that you're an actor, bro. Like, you just have this style, Papa. I love it.
I appreciate it, man. I think it's just a Rican style, man. That's all it is. I can't help it. I woke up out of bed and threw on chains,
All right, man. So you know what? Let's get right into it, because there's going to be a lot of questions I'm sure people are going to be asking. They're going to be commenting as well, too. So since we're live, it's going to be a lot of people that's going to be, interacting. So let's get it on. Let's talk about growing up in Philly, baby. So in Philly, what was life for you growing up in Philly?
Man, growing up in Philly was definitely, like we were talking beforehand, it was a hustle, right? It was a hustle. I mean, I was fortunate enough, or I grew up in a neighborhood that wasn't very diverse. It was all Puerto Rican neighborhood back in the 70s. We saw a lot. We saw a lot. What was cool though is that we definitely all saw a lot of hustle, right? Going back to that word, where our parents were hustling. My dad, like I told you earlier, he was a garbage man. You had people going to the pepas, picking pepas. Hey man, we did whatever we had to do to feed our family, right? And that's how we grew up, and that's what we bring with us. So growing up in Philly was interesting. It was interesting.
Playing in the street, right? So you guys played in the street. There's, I know here in Chicago as well too. You get the fire hydrant where the water shoots out, and then all of the kids are playing. Did you grow up in that atmosphere as well too, where you had the opportunity to grow up like that?
So it's funny that you asked that, and we didn't even talk about this beforehand. But I'm actually writing. I'm in the middle of writing a story called Play Street. Myself and a young lady by the name of Mary Angel are writing the story, and one of the scenes are definitely in the fire hydrant. Those are the days. It's the days that you don't forget. I mean, we used to go and ask the lady, like the block captain, for games, and she'd give us the games, and that was back in the day when you would take a can and like scrape it on the floor just so you can throw water on people. just different times, man. It was fun, it was a good time. It was a good time.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome, oh, man. So
yeah.
growing up in Philly, man, I mean, there's, of course, it's such a, and when you said, of course, Puerto Rican, of course, and
Mm,
the Boricuas, it was all about music, right? It was all about music. It was all about comida. It was all about food and great things. Memories as far as you growing up, as far as in a Puerto Rican home, but
mm,
also in the streets where you could say little Puerto Rico. How was it as far as growing up? Because now you being an actor, right? Did you
mm.
have any influences back then or growing up during that time with music? Did you have any influences growing up as well too in Philly?
I mean, when you talk about music itself, it's everywhere. It's embedded in our body. It's in our veins. It's what we live and breathe every day. You walk, you could be sitting at a park, you could be sitting at your house and there's cars, flying by, and they're all playing salsa music for the most part. So all that stuff is, yeah, even my mom, s- uh, well, the Cubans will
Cubano.
know La Lupe,
Uh-huh.
my mom,
Yeah.
listening to La Lupe and all those old school things that I didn't even know. My brothers had to tell me, or my brother had to tell me who it was that my mom used to listen to when she was growing up or when we were all growing up. But yeah, music was embedded in our soul. And you see all these guitars behind me. I don't play any of them,
Uh-huh.
but my son has that love of music.
Nice.
And it's just something that it gives us life. Music definitely gives us life. And then when it comes to influences, I
Yeah.
remember watching Sanford and Son, and they had
Yeah.
that Rican dude that was on the Sanford and Son show. That was awesome. I can't think of his name right now. Then you had Ricky Ricardo, obviously, with I Love
Yeah.
Lucy.
Yeah.
Lucy, I'm home. I mean, it was just things like that where there weren't too many Hispanics on TV. So the ones that were on TV,
It was like,
yeah, they really stood out to you, and you felt orgulloso. I mean, you felt,
wow.
yeah, it was cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the influence as far as with the whole acting piece and growing up during that age, I tell my mom all that. I say, man, thank you. I was born in the '70s and then growing through the '80s and seeing the whole transition of the '90s, right? And of course, I'm telling my age, but it feels as if when you're growing up through those times, you see so many different transitions, right? When it comes to, the Latino culture, but also you see the African American culture and you see how things are influenced as well too, as far as to say, hey man, I want to be like that when I grow up, right? And it's funny, it's like you look at music videos of Shy Shy and you're like, man, I just want to live like that every day. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, for me, believe it or not, it was and I've said this before, but it was Michael Jackson, man. When I was growing up
yeah.
at that, you hit the 80s, Michael. It was like, yeah, I loved the idea and that's what, because so I came to Chicago, right? So after being in Philadelphia, I came to Chicago, started living in Chicago,
Sure.
and I had an opportunity to be in a talent show. I was scared as hell. It was like sixth grade. I'm scared as hell.
Yeah.
But I did have a gentleman that was helping me, and I did Michael Jackson Thriller, right? And I think I had mentioned this to you before, but
Yeah.
it was I'll never forget it, and I will always cherish that moment because it brought me out of this shell that I was in. I was this
Okay.
short, chubby kid,
Okay.
and I don't care, and I went up there and I did Michael Jackson, and I'm telling you right now, I knew every move that dude did during Thriller. I knew it. So it was cool, man. It was cool. Yeah.
That's cool, man. I mean,
Yeah, it was cool.
Thriller, man. I did that too. Like I did that, but I did it at an older age. But I did it, and you know what's fun about it is that it feels like you're in a group, and if you're in a group doing it, it feels so much fun doing it as well too. Even when you're dancing by yourself, because you feel like you're in the music video, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Hey, man, I'm okay with any of that. I really am, man. I love music. I love this whole acting world. It gets difficult. Let's not lie to people, right?
Sure.
Because we're on the Hollywood, show. We're not gonna lie to people either because it
Right.
does. It gets difficult. if you can't, and I know I'm changing a little here, but if you can't deal with rejection, man, you're in the wrong business. I'm gonna tell you now. You are definitely in the wrong business because I've had an opportunity to be rejected, and I've had opportunities where all of your struggles and all of those auditions that you go to actually pay off. So
Yes.
there is a payoff, you know, but you got to have thick skin. You
Yes.
got to have thick skin, man.
Yeah.
And growing up in Philadelphia, in Chicago, all of that stuff helps you with thick skin because, man, we could, I mean, we're some sarcastic folks, So it prepares you. It prepares you for that. It prepares you for that just toughness.
But I have to say that when we talk about rejection, because how
Mm,
passionate we are as people, we take that to heart. Like we take that to heart. And yes, you are right about the thick skin. But I think what happens is that when you're being told so many times, that's when how thick our skin becomes, right?
mm.
Because we are thinking like, okay, I know I'm gonna get a few doors slammed in front of me, but I know that I'm about to knock this out. And when I knock this out, they're gonna know a lot about me when I knock this out. And I think because you had so many no's, when you actually finally get that yes, you're ready to show and explode your talent, right? And
Yeah,
then all of a
yeah.
sudden, like, man, all of a sudden people start to recognize, they start to know who I am. And they say, Enrique Kings, this guy is off the chain. This guy is awesome. And then that's when you start getting more, more numbers. Talking about the acting, right? Talking
Yeah.
about the acting piece. Your first acting gig. Do you remember your first acting gig?
My first acting gig was on stage. It was a live stage play written by Mary Angel. It was deep, man. It had to do with human trafficking, so it was a very deep subject.
Sure.
And I actually played or I acted as a not quite a pimp, but I was the bad guy in the show.
Okay.
And I will tell you that one of the coolest things that happened to me during this show was finding this voice that I had no idea that I had and letting go to a point where I didn't even know what I was doing on stage. There was this point where I twirled, I did something, I don't even know. It wasn't a part of anything. It was just I let go and I was so appreciative for that moment and listening. There's like being on TV, man, I'm all over it. I love it. But there's something about being on stage and
Yes.
having the interaction of people
Yeah.
that is completely different.
Yeah.
You bomb,
Yeah.
I mean, it's live,
Yes.
So
Yes.
but if you could let go and just let the spirit, I guess, take you, because that's what I feel like. It just I don't know what happened, and it was amazing. And I left there and I said, damn, seriously, it was just like this moment where it was great.
I
It
think
was
the
it was a good
live piece
time.
is so different than, of course, us being in front of a camera, right? Because in front of a camera, we actually in our focus, we're in our zone. But when you know that there's actually people watching you live, that's the nervous breakdown. Like that's
Yeah.
like, don't mess up because there's a lot of people that are going to trickle down and say, "Oh, yeah, there was a mistake that was actually made." Or if you're really good with improvising, of course, right? Then they won't know. But yeah, man, that's awesome. What was the name of the play? Do you
It
remember?
was called Mama's Curse of the Corner Blues. It was an amazing show. It was for a great cause. Just all of it. The writing. Mary's an amazing writer. She's actually the one that I'm writing Play Street with.
Okay.
So yeah, it's gonna be, well, it's yeah. I can't wait. Once it's done, I can't wait for you to. I will put it in your hands.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
I will
talking
put it
about.
on your
Yes,
hands.
sir.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like that, man. I like that. And that's awesome. So we're gonna shift gears because we got like
shift,
15
baby,
minutes of
shift.
fame left. And you know how it is when we both talk, we can talk forever. So with the acting piece, of course,
Yeah.
with the acting piece, and you actually got through that first, on stage, and then you start going as far as with making a role as far as for TV. Now,
Yeah.
big shout out to you and all of the staff and the people that actually hired you for Chicago Fire and also for the Powerbook Force.
Yeah.
It's Powerbook 4 Force or
Powerbook
5?
Force. Powerbook Force.
Oh, Powerbook
Yeah.
4.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
season one of Powerbook Force. They just finished wrapping season 2. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So I want to transition in regards to
Let's
how,
do
of
it.
course, you've done a lot, right? You've done a lot as far as with acting, but Chicago Fire, what's your experience as far as with that when you got hired for that one?
Oh man, I don't know if you've had an opportunity to see that episode, but man, it was crazy. It was so I go to Claire Simon casting in Chicago, and she calls me up, and then I got a call back right away, which was freaking amazing. So I had to go back, and then you have to audition in front of the director, and in front of all these other people. But being on set, everyone on that set, and this is not me just blowing smoke. They're beautiful people, because at the end of the day, they all want you to succeed. If you succeed, everyone succeed. It's a great show. You know what I mean? So that's all anybody wants. But there was a point where they had to call me back because they wanted to add a scene. So I came back, and it was a face-off between me and Taylor Kinney, which is the number one dude on the show, Severide, right?
Right.
And
Uh-huh.
I remember that day because I wasn't scared, Rico.
Mhm.
I didn't care who he was. And I don't mean like I didn't care who he was.
Sure.
He was Severide to me. You know
Yes.
what I mean? And I'm playing a crooked tow truck driver, and he's trying to bust me. I don't want him to bust me. So that was the mentality that I had to have. But he was lovely. He was lovely. The writers were on set. Ezra was the head director on that. It was just an amazing experience. They welcomed me, and yeah, I appreciate that. And my 3 years is coming up. So Chicago Fire, I'm here, baby. I'm here.
Let's go.
Because yeah,
Let's
you
go.
can't. Yeah, because if you can't, if you're on one episode, you can't be on there for, I think it's like 2 or 3 years, and then you can come back. So they can,
Okay.
yeah, unless you're like a full time, like a person that's on there all the time, then you can. But if you're not, if you're like a one episode, even a co-star, guest star, it doesn't matter. You can't come back for 2 years. So
Man,
hey,
that's
man, my
tough.
time is up. Let's go. I'm
Yeah,
ready.
it's time to renew, baby. That's
Yeah,
cool, man. I love about what I love about that is that people are humble enough to understand that we're all in it together,
yeah,
right? And no matter how high you are up in the food chain with being an actor or an actress, the people that's actually below you, everybody had to get to that level at one point in time in their life.
right.
And those are the people, those are the humble people. I think we talked about a little bit about that before in regards to positive people around you continue with success, right?
Hmm.
So I think that is awesome, man. Did the main actor, did he give you any word of advice, or did you guys even talk a little bit
We
about?
Yeah, he actually asked me, and then he got tied up. But this is how cool he was, because we had a scene that was just brought up to us, and then he was like, "Hey, Enrique, do you want to run lines with me?" You know how cool that is, man, for the freaking star of the show. Hey, man, you want to run lines with me? Hell yeah, I want to run lines with you. What do you mean? But we didn't get a chance to do it because obviously they pulled him, and they're pulling him in 100 different directions. So
Sure.
our face off was all raw. We didn't even get a chance to go over our line. So, but
Um,
and on that same note, though, when you go to Powerbook Force and Joe Sikora, Chicago-born brother, he is one cool, down to earth dude. I mean, really down to earth.
that's fine.
And there was some things that he had said to me that I don't want to share.
Sure.
There was just, they were for me. And I appreciated him, and just that whole opportunity. I was on 3 episodes of that first season of his show. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it was so cool, man. It was so cool. So, and we'll see what happens. They didn't kill me. You know what I mean? So if they didn't kill me, that means I get to come back. Hey, 50, I'm waiting, bro. Because that's a 50 Cent show, right? That's 50. Hey,
Right,
come on,
right.
50, I'm right here, bro. There's a Rican in Chicago. Let's do it.
So when you actually apply for, so the transition from Chicago Fire did you do other shows or commercials in between that until you got to Powerbook, or did you go
Yeah,
from?
I've done a lot of different indie films. So I've
Okay,
been in a lot of indie films. I actually took some improv. That was something that I wanted to do.
nice.
My teacher's name was Matt Bear. I want to give him a shout out. He's
Big shout out to
amazing.
Matt. Yeah,
Yeah, Matt's cool as heck. And yeah, I kept myself busy.
good.
That's for sure. Because look, you can't sit around and wait for the phone to ring. And then not everybody can afford classes. So it's like, what do, right? So you got
True.
to find what it is that you can do. And so I decided to take improv classes. Like I said, I was in some indie films and I did some writing, so I'm always keeping myself as busy as I can.
That's awesome. Now, I always put this in. It's weird, right? That I think like this, like a mad scientist.
Yeah.
Sometimes where author might be writing and they have writer's block, right? Is
Yeah.
there such thing in regards to memory block of acting?
Memory block. I think so. We had this conversation earlier, just a tad, right? I think for me right now, it's easier for me to remember a script than it is what I did this weekend. I mean, literally, and is there such thing as a mem? I don't know. I mean, I don't. I guess if you get in your own head with
Yeah.
anything else, you can block your brain from remembering things and being able to say things naturally and yeah, I mean, I think you can get in your own way. I think that's the best answer that I can give you there is we as humans can get in our own way
True.
and we give ourselves that memory block or whatever it is.
Sure. Yeah, and the reason why I bring that up because you've been an actor yourself and you've been in
Mm.
big shows. One of the things is that you have like sometimes we might get nervous, right? And then we might say, "Oh man, what was that word?" I mean, I know I'm ready to actually go right in front of them, or you're ready to go right in front of the main guy or someone that's higher up than you, and you're like, "Man, okay, all right, keep it together."
So yeah, I because I'm not 'cause Rico, I don't lie, right? I'm not
Yeah,
lying to you, right?
yeah.
The first day that I'm on set of Chicago Fire, there is this one scene and where I'm under a viaduct and I'm leaning against this car, and all I had to do was say, that they call me, they said like, "Hey, come here," or something. I forgot exactly what, and literally all I had to do was say like one thing or whatever the heck it is. I completely forgot. And I'll tell you, I mean, I just forgot because there's fire trucks around you. There's all of these action. When you're on the set of the NBC show, there's cameras everywhere. You know
Wow.
what I mean? So it was like, oh snap! And then as soon as the director said action, boom! I remembered. It was this weird, like, just this second, just like I completely forgot everything
Yeah.
and then it was just like boom, let's go, yeah, it was, and then after that it was just like let's go, I'm
Yes.
ready, you know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes.
I mean, the hairs were standing up on my arm. I'm like, yeah. And because it happens, you know what I mean, it happens. But imagine if I would have gotten into my own feelings right there. Oh, it would have been over, it would have been over.
That's
Yeah.
crazy, man. That's crazy. I
Yeah.
mean, the reason why I asked that is because these are things that we go to prepare for, and
Yeah.
we do not want to make a mistake at all. It's like being a perfectionist, and you're like, I cannot make this mistake. You get there, and you're like, oh man, what was I supposed to do again? I forgot. Then all of a sudden it's like, okay, it's showtime. All right, everybody, let's go. And all of a sudden it just comes back to you. You're like, what is this? Where did this come from?
Yeah. It's
So
it's showtime. It's showtime. It's time to go. Before you started this show, no one heard this. The man said it's showtime. You
yes,
know
sir.
what I mean? It's this click in our brains. It's time to go. And we
Yeah,
just go. I
yeah.
don't know. It happens.
I love it, man. Hey, we got a few shout outs I want to give out to. My man James Dunn is giving us a strong arm saying, cool show. My man Angel Reyes is checking
Yo.
in. He said, hey, that's my brother PR, Puerto Rico, checking in. Thank you so much, Papa. And everybody else is checking in. I know we're down to our last cinco minutos, for the show itself. But thank you guys so much for actually tuning in. Don't forget to share this video. Carlo Masas, saludo, Papa, saludo. So, before we, take this 5 minutes, you've done a lot. I got to give you your accolades. You've done a lot. You've done some really great things. Of course, you got a new projects that's actually coming up, right?
Yeah.
That you're actually
Yeah.
working on. I want the audience to know about it. Tell us about it.
So here, I'll give you the 2 seconds. So, there was a season one of a show called Chicago Unscripted that my partner Christy Acosta and I came up with an idea of it was an improv show, like
Okay.
100% live. Cameras are on, everything's improv, and it had to do with divorce. It
Okay.
was a really deep show. It was amazing. It was a great experience. You guys can go to my YouTube channel right now, or you can go to Chicago Unscripted. You can find it there. The whole season is there. So we took that and we said, wow, that was amazing. Now let's make it a real show. So right now we just finished wrapping on Chicago Unscripted season two. That's called Opposites Attract or Do They? And it's a comedy show with a lot of local Chicago improv guys. I mean, like real improv people.
Nice.
And it because I gotta give them. There's Charlie Arksey, Matt Baer, Chantel Johnson, the amazing Emily Rose Dano. It's just there's people in Chicago that people don't know their names, and I want the world needs to know these people's names. They're amazing. These guys are going out there and playing the 2-3 people in the audience, and they're giving these 2-3 people their heart and their
Yeah,
soul.
that's love.
And I want nothing else but to be able to put a spotlight on these people. That's what I
Sure.
want to do, Rico. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yes,
So
sir.
I'm using this show to be able to do that. We're gonna go into editing soon. We just finished. So instead of live like we did season one, like I said, we're actually it's gonna be a real show edited from beginning to end. My son, musician, all these guitars back here. His name is Snow Elliott. He made the intro hook for us for the show. So he made a song for us. So I'm telling you, I'm involving everybody, man. Hey, my
Yes, sir.
family, everybody's involved. Yeah, so and that is going to be under the Palante Films brand name. So opened up a Palante Films company. uh
Suave.
yeah, so I am now one of the owners of Palante Films Co. And I'm very blessed to be able to say that. I'm very blessed to be able to say that, and I don't take it lightly,
Yes.
and
Yes.
I have a responsibility, and we're gonna do some cool stuff, man. We're gonna do some cool stuff. So I
Yeah.
can't wait.
Hey, you know what? Don't forget, I played a little acting once in a while. You know what I do? I did it.
You ain't saying nothing, baby. Let's go.
I don't want to throw that in there, but I felt like I had to my Puerto Rican brother. I had to
Hey,
get that,
man. Hey, it's like they say the Cuban flag and the Puerto Rican flag, they make this.
They fly
We're
together.
together, bro. We fly together. So it's cool with me. I got no issues. But this particular show is all improv. So if you down with improv, there's a season 3 coming.
Okay,
So
okay.
yeah.
I have to work my things. You have to work some things around. I have to check you out. I have to see how it all works. But we do got Miss Kings, MISS King says, Big Sister Jackie, they
Oh,
love you.
love you right back, sis.
That's
Love you
right.
right back. That's family. That's
That's
family right
fam.
there. That's my sister Jackie. I love her with all my heart. And real quick, because I know we don't have a lot of time. So
Sure.
my born name is Julio Enrique Reyes. Right?
Okay.
Pretty Hispanic for you, right? Which is
Wow.
cool, is what I am.
Right.
So what I did was I went by my middle name Enrique, which and then my last name Reyes. My sisters, when they were growing up, wanted to do a singing group called the King Sisters. So it was my sister Jackie who said to me, "Why don't you use King?" So I'm like, "Damn, Jackie, okay." So there you go. For Enrique Kings was born. Thanks,
Enrique
Jackie.
King.
Yeah, yeah.
Gabriel Garcia says, I love Chicago Fire. Great interview, Chin. Saludo, Papa. Thank you so much for
Thanks,
checking
guys.
in. Yes. Hey, we had fun, man. I had a great time today. I had a blast.
It's
30
always a
minutes,
pleasure,
30
brother.
minutes of love and fame, man, as far as with you, Enrique Kings. I love it, man. I love what you're doing, bro. I have to say that I'm always here behind you, man. And, you know, whatever you need from me, you just let me know, bro. I am always here to actually make sure that you succeed. Anyone else that you may know that needs that exposure for this Hollywood, you let them know that Rico No Suave is actually here también. So,
All right. So right now, just so you know,
dime.
when we're walking down the red carpet, the first person that gets the interview is Rico No Suave. I promise. That's a promise, okay? I
Dale,
promise you,
Rico,
bro.
that's what I'm talking about. I
Okay?
appreciate
It's
that.
Rico giving the first interview.
I appreciate that. That's
And I
amazing.
appreciate you having me back, man. Thank you
Yes,
so
sir.
much.
No problem, man. All right, my man. Hey, I want to say thank you so much once again. Much success and love. Ya tu sabes, mi gente. It's
Thanks,
my
bro.
man, Enrique Kings.
Thanks, y'all. Peace out.
Thank you, Papa. Hablamos. That was my man, Enrique Kings, everybody. Thank you guys so much. Veronica Reyes, thank you so much. Thank you. Everybody, don't forget to share this video. Let everybody and their grandma, abuelita, let them know that the Rico No Suave Show, Heart of Hollywood series with my man, Enrique Kings, was here today. And make sure, hey, we're going to blow this up, everybody. So I want you guys to show nothing but love. Press that like button. Just say, hey, I love this show. I love this, and we need more of it. Hey, don't forget, everybody, if you're on YouTube, make sure you go to Facebook, Heart of Hollywood Magazine. Make sure you go ahead and follow and like. And also, if you're on Facebook, make sure you go over to Heart of Hollywood Media and make sure you go ahead and subscribe to that channel. Instagram, Heart of Hollywood Magazine, everybody. That is where we are at. But next week, everybody, we have none other than a Latin-nominated Grammy winner. My man, Jose Cornier, the musician, will be here on the Rico No Suave, Heart of Hollywood Magazine. Ya tu sabes, mi gente. So I will see you guys next time here. As always, let's have a great time. I'll see you guys later. Dale.